All right, welcome back to the channel. It is Reactions, Rants, and Rabbit Holes. And old Rollen Green here has got I'm going to go with eclectic taste. I don't know much about hip hop, but I was listening to some Harry Mack Omegle bars this morning, and he referenced Grandmaster Flash. And I admit that, White Lines is on my playlist. I hear that all the time. When he referenced Tougher Than Leather, I talked about is that Run DMC? Got Beastie Boys. I think it was that Rick Rubin's camp back in the day. Made themselves a movie. It's goofy. I'm pretty sure I saw it when I was in the joint. We got Webby giving the channel love. We got other side of the coin. You flip it over. We got Upchurch giving us love. I wake up and the real Payday Monsanto giving us some love. And first and foremost, I appreciate you. Thank you. Odd TV. Now I didn't remember. I think this was on the side that I really loved to listen to, but I couldn't remember. So I wanted to let's just go back, and I was looking. I dropped a subscribe to the artist. I'm looking, and I don't know. I said the people, and I'm like, oh, whatever. I'm not. Holy smokes, do I want to see what that is about? Oh wow. I'm very interested. We're gonna go down a little rabbit hole because acknowledged our existence, and honestly, for this channel, that's all it takes. I do not know how to parlay anything into anything. I just know how to acknowledge when they acknowledge us. I figure that's a good time to go back. Let's go back.
Hip hop is such a powerful tool. If it wasn't perverted by corporate whores, many people would have learned by now from my man Chris, late 80s. Chuck D, my man Paris. The truth movement needs us more than ever, people. Shouldn't be opposing to throwing none of my quotients out the window. They tighter than 17 virgins jammed in the Pinto. I've been so caught up in the movement, it's ridiculous. The garbage these motherfuckers are spewing is fictitious. You get your news from Exxon and Mobil, and a dude nicknamed Turd Blossom who studied Joseph Goebbels. Nazis did not lose. The Third Reich just changed venues. Your military ain't trained to defend you, though they are deadly. Brainwashed heavily by Nazi propaganda. I just got off the phone with a retired commander. He told me military drills are the integral answer to understand the reasons for all the confusion. Good Americans duped into believing illusions. I love to grab the mic and brag it I'm the illest, but now I understand some Straussians are trying to kill us. What would you do if you knew the threat it really poses? And genocidal eugenics was right under your noses. Was fact is fact, was shown is shown. If I was Bill Gates, I'd wager everything that I own. People are well aware that there's a need.
I cannot pick up every bar. We got that's all I had. Now, so far so good, and I'm got a firm belief that the rabbit hole in and no expert at all, but there's enough. NASA is made up of Nazi memes. There is enough references to the global new world order that not only do I believe groups have neither lost or been destroyed, but I believe there's 2-3 power structures vying for control of the planet at all times. And then if you really want to strap on the tinfoil hat, what is there, 16 alien races that we are in contact with? I don't actually know. I'm saying I like when we go off the deep end a little bit, and this lyrical content seems to be right off the high dive. That's good.
Everything that I own, people are well aware there's an evil. They've been exposed. The killers are running scared, and now the emperor, he wears no clothes. The masses will be aware, and now the fascists are running scared. The solution, rip off their cloaks, issue them subpoenas and put them all under oath. There is no doubt about it. They will kill you without any kind of provocation, or for whips instructed Bush to build a nation. And magically it's happening. Global domination through force, yes, and action. Your entire leadership renounced their oaths. It ain't who votes that counts, but who counts the votes. Listen, there might be 20 politicians truly looking out for you, and they even on a mission. It's cause they thinking of their grandchildren, children's future. Thank God for Cynthia McKinney, Jesus, hallelujah. I know for some of y'all it really hurts your grin, but it takes a big man, in fact it's Herculean. I respect Rosie O'Donnell rather highly, cause she got bigger balls than the bully Bill O'Reilly does. I've been briefed by Henry Kissinger. They want to murder the truth and execute the messenger. You've been fooled into believing you're a genius. They mind fucked you with a 27-inch penis. People are well aware that there's an evil. They've been exposed. The killers are running scared, and now the emperor, he wears no clothes. The masses will be aware, and now the fascists are running scared. The solution, rip off their clothes, issue them subpoenas and put them all under oath. I'm by no means the saint they are telling me. I've been charged with a couple of bogus felonies, but the very clowns who wanna throw me in jail are complicit in genocide on a draconian scale. They hate us for the liberties which we've been given, the freest place on the planet with the most people in prison. The government didn't murder.
That's us is super good. I like it. I think to unpack this right now in today's day and age is complicated. Oh yeah. Decade. Complicated. I think 100% right. I think figuring out and it turns out both sides love shooting them missiles, flying them drones. Where the desire lies to wage war, that on the Overton window, the zeitgeist, though, however you want to do, the here and now, that's an interesting discussion. Because it turns out it looks like the warmongering doesn't go away. We just switch the control of the military, the big stick goes in the other group's hand. Then they pick and choose. We have, especially for a song that's 11 years old, is it even older? I don't know when it first came out, so I'm not saying I assume anything. I think it's good. I like it.
The Kennedy, that's a folklore. But they ain't got the Constitution in the chokehold. People are fighting, they're looking at the bigger picture. If you disagree with them, they liken you to Hitler, when it is in fact just the other way around. Look out for the truth, cause it's coming to your town. Maybe in a matter of days. 911 was an inside job or be a household phrase. They've been withholding information critical. It ain't no if it gets disclosed, they're exposed criminals. There is no doubt about it. They will kill you without any kind of provocation, or for whips instructed Bush to build a nation. And magically it's happening. Global domination through force, yes, and action. Your entire leadership.
Sure, because it seems like an indictment of the Bush regime for the most part. And didn't we elect Hope and Change? Didn't that Hope and Change wield an incredibly big stick as well? And then, I don't know. Because I'm not all in on the new thing right now either. I might have voted for it, but I find, let's just say, Rollen been bitching about Project Warp Speed since day one, and Rollen believes that medical tyranny is a lot more realistic outcome than military tyranny. It looks like they use that military tyranny to obtain land resources and mobility of the flow of the global economy. But then the other side, it looks like even the AI is saying everyone should line up and let them stick in you whatever they want to stick in you, because contrary to the evidence, they only have your best interest at mind. Whew. I find that one hard to believe. So I'm not sure which side wields the big stick anymore. It turns out it looks like our side, every side deals it out. At the same time, I would like to address whose activists cause the most destruction to people who don't deserve it. Because, there seems to be a lot of pitchfork and torch wielding mobs lately. And I am not sure that's the group I want to win. It scares the shit out of me. But I want to keep living out in the middle of nowhere, maybe get a couple chickens and keep going to work. That group, I'm pulling for us. I'm kind of hoping just everything, the complicated side implodes upon itself, which, hey, fingers crossed.
Happening. Global domination through force, yes, and action. Your entire leadership renounced their oaths. It ain't who votes that counts, but who counts the votes. Listen, there might be 20 politicians.
Hey, wait, who counts the... Oh, shit, how'd I do that? I pushed a button I wasn't supposed to
There's
push.
the...
Damn, screwed myself. Oh, hit a back button. I didn't want to... Is this even in the right one still? Is this the... It's same song, different... All right, that went all south on me. And I'm sorry, because honestly, I just wanted to be grateful for the acknowledgement. And now I'm all over the place. Fat finger and buttons, doing all kinds of weird stuff, mixing it up, because I think definitely I like this on point. I just think the ideas transcend the parties. And that I would just be happy with accountability and transparency. Then the things that I fear the most, which there's a lot of stuff in here I would align with. But the thing I fear the most is that secret groups operate in the shadows unchecked, believing they have the authority, right, and moral high ground. But not a single one of them is standing in front of me having that discussion. So I don't. I believe if you cut off their funding, you cut off their secret organizations, you cut off the back room deals, handshakes, and money laundering, so much changes. Because it turns out I'm one of the few people I know that do this shit for free. Basically free. Most of the world drives on having to have a handout, a money stream, a side hustle, and a sugar daddy for some reason. Because, if we really want to talk about truth in society, the overconsumption of the self-serving might be one of the actual discussions we should have. We're so good at beating around the bush on these issues, but the me, more attitude has got to be one of our most problematic things. As we ignore the group who would love to drive everybody back to a two-class system only. Have and have-nots. And oddly enough, they praise some of the places that already endorse these systems because they're swayed by cleanliness and control. I don't know. I don't know what's better, what's worse. I know I'd rather think about this shit than just go, hey, that was a good song. Subscribe, like, and share. That seems like a waste of our time.
Clowns that wanna throw me in jail or complicit in genocide on a draconian scale. They hate us for the liberties which we've been given. The freest place on the planet with the most people in prison.
The government didn't murder Kennedy, that's a folklore. And they ain't got the Constitution in a chokehold.
People are frightened of looking at the bigger picture. If you
Now, love it, but maybe we find out tomorrow, and no, it appears very much so. You could call it the deep state, the CIA, or whatever you'd like. It turns out, I think we're on the verge of finding out that foreign influence has been problematic since my great grandfather's day or beyond. Maybe since the dawn of civilization. I don't know. But I'm thinking we're going to start finding out, unless it's entirely redacted. But standing the test of time, I don't know, because we're gonna find out. Boy, if we don't, people, man, you think it's just warp speed? I'm pissed about. There's a lot of shadowy organizations we thought were already going to be dragged into the light. Let's go on that shit. Not crying about the last global war. I want to know who's really, really pulling the strings. Who thinks they have the right to make up the decisions? I want them put on Front Street. At least the golden god that everyone hates, for better or worse, is right out front. It's as accessible as y'all can get. I'm curious about what went on in the shadows when no one was looking.
Constitution in a chokehold.
people are frightened of looking at the bigger picture. If you disagree with them, they liken you to Hitler. When it is in fact just the other way around. Look out for the truth, cause it's coming to your town. Maybe.
Oh yeah, and then that line stands the test of time because we now know who wields that rhetoric as a cudgel, a stick, a hammer. And honestly, the people who use that rhetoric now are the same people who would gladly accept CBD back digital back currency, social network scores, total control, and the elimination of speech in general, except for only pre-approved narratives. But that's the same ones who point and call everyone names. Holy shit, is that crazy? Does that not escape me? I was like, wow. You want all the bad people to go away so you can let daddy government govern you harder. Woof. Woof. Now, there's the opposite of Harry Mack's self-awareness from the beginning of my day. That to me is the opposite of self-awareness. That's like, ow, govern me harder, daddy. Just don't tell me about it.
In a matter of days, 911 was an inside job or be a household phrase. They've been withholding information critical. It ain't no if it gets disclosed, they're exposed criminals. There is no doubt about it. They will kill you without any kind of provocation. Or for whips instructed Bush to build a nation. And magically it's happening. Global domination through force, yes, and action. Your entire leadership renounced their oaths. It ain't who votes that counts, but who counts the votes. Listen, there might be 20 politicians truly looking out for you, and they even on a mission. Just cause they thinking
Rob Paul.
Their grandchildren build a future. Thank God for Cynthia McKinney, Jesus, hallelujah. I know for some of y'all it really hurts your grin.
And to be honest, we get to quote Maha shit at work all the time. I switched this over to tallow. We're 100% supportive of removing half of the chemicals from the shit we eat because why? Why? Don't think we need it. Pretty sure there's a loophole that just generally accepted as safe. You got loopholes like that exist, but then you want the control system, corporations, and government to control speech. You let the entire financial world run on some gambling narrative and insider trading shit, but screw them. They're better than me. They know better. Man, I think we are so misplaced on who we want. I think we figured it out. And honestly, I liked the mission statement of Occupy Wall Street. It was the heroin tents and rape corners that really screwed your movement there. You had the right idea. Then I think you were co opted by government agents and then it turned into something else. It's weird you forgot about the bankers. As always, I recommend watching The Big Short and trying not to be pissed.
For Cynthia McKinney, Jesus, hallelujah. I know for some of y'all it really hurts your grin, but it takes a big man and fast as Herculean. I respect Rosie O'Donnell rather highly cause she got bigger balls than the bully Bill O'Reilly does. These traitors gotta pay. They're gonna get their day. God said there's so the enemy is within. Lady Justice is crying.
Now, the same group that now this see because I'm just addressing this from man, God, this channel sucks. I'm supposed to be just on the bullshit. I'm supposed to be myself, and I appreciate the artists for shouting us out. And I'm not hating. I think it's good. I just think the ideas that this has in it were co-opted by a group, and they didn't. They became what they hated to try to gain control. It's like this. I really liked Rage Against the Machine. And I didn't have no problem with their edge, their activism. And for the longest time, I followed Surge and the guitarist from Rage. They had a website. It was global activism. It was awesome. This is where Ange and I were still marching against Monsanto and strong on the left. I would have agreed with almost 100% of this until I went down Minneapolis, Occupy Wall Street, and the fucking stink of patchouli, the dirty hippie rapists and heroin addicts that I literally recognized from the music scene. That was the core of the activism and stink ass drum circles. You look like fucking idiots. None of you are addressing corrupt bankers. None of you could have a single coherent conversation. I felt like a fucking idiot when I got down there. I'm like, holy shit, this entire movement is crusty hippie losers who cannot take a fucking bath, but will sell you bunk ass weed so they can go get better drugs from their goddamn connect. I was pissed. I felt cheated. I felt that we were on the verge of addressing the criminal of all criminals. And I'm an ex-con, so I'm like, man, these people rob so much. We're going to bring them down. Nah, there's a bunch of assholes getting high. Literally looking to fuck each other. And then take it if they couldn't score it the real way. It was disgusting. And I left. I left the left. Because that whole group now calls me names but can't show up to work on time ever. They want structure in everything that controls them, but then just fuck everything else is white supremacy because I don't want to show up. I don't want to participate. I don't want no part of your social contract. And I think that whole group is what led us here. And I don't think I'm right. I don't think this side is wrong. I think this is that moment in time where it actually got infiltrated by like Black Bloc, but I think that's all CIA. I think the whole thing was, I watched it in Minneapolis. I watched when they arrested everybody at that fucking... I think I watched all of this shit happen, and I think y'all get to be mad. I think people were allowed to be mad at like the Bush and that regime, and they got mad at Christian conservatives, and they got mad at the military machine, and they got mad at everything as they watched or ignored their personal civil liberties being stripped. And I go all the way back to 9/11, the Patriot Act, and I just think there's been people who have blindly stared like deer in the headlights as the entire system, no matter who's in control, keeps finding ways to tighten its control on people. And I believe, that our only state of being should be freedom, the ability to, produce something in the physical realm, uh, stay alive, self-sustain, blah, blah, blah. Now, none of us hating on this shit. No, I'm not hating on this at all. I actually think it's good, and we're going to go to another one just for general principle, because I'm being... This brought out the me in me, unfortunately.
They're gonna get their day. God says they're so the enemy is within. Lady Justice is crying tears. Oh, these cowards must be exposed till everybody knows.
So I like the hook a lot. And then I think there should be indictments and arrests on all sides for one last time. Even if I voted for the current thing, I have always questioned the parts that seem problematic. And it appears we're right in the middle of doing more problematic shit now. In no way do I belong to a cult of personality who thinks it's all okay. But at the same time, I'm also never going to honor a junkie martyr and give them God status. I'm never going to look at an entire group of people as chosen by God to lead the planet. I'm never going to see religious control systems as anything but control systems. I think if we don't acknowledge the darkness and evil in the world, its tendencies that are being brushed off as cultural differences will never go away. We will continue to abuse each other, indoctrinate, groom, create propaganda for, lie, deceive, kill, destroy. We'll see. Because somewhere along the line, we let those ideas influence the masses way too much. When evidence to what we need to be healthy, safe, and secure, I don't think that's hard to find. I look out my window, it's not that hard to find. That's good. The beat. Now, I'm not trying to mock. I'm not trying to turn it the corner. At the beginning, I didn't quite know this, but within the first year, we realized all opinions are for entertainment purposes only. God, does it make the world a better place if we get both sides of it? If all we do is give each other reach arounds while we're in the middle of the screw job, what's the fucking point? I personally believe. Now I, smoked a big pile of weed, got pretty lit up, and decided to just go with it. But I think the people have a right to an opinion. I think a lot of this, 90% of it's 100% right. But at the same time, I think it transcended these ideas, and that there were trends that had a chance and they got co-opted by someone else. I truly believe that. The people, Payday, Monsanto. I do one more and see if I can make it less complicated and less long. Half hour on a 5-minute song is a rant.